So as I was discussing the purpose of load test. First of all, we need to find see that application can handle future load or not, whatever load we are expecting. So we need to identify our future load and make sure our response time at future load are under SLA. And we need to make sure all our resources server resources for server like CPU, memory, disk should not breach or it should be under what all things client has confirmed. Like if it is the server resources are, it should under 50%, 60%. Then during the test it should during the testing time it should be under that much. And coming to application have any bottlenecks. So application should also don't have any bottleneck, and according to the error percentage also less than 1%. So of number of transactions. So this is what we took, and even I have shown you everything. So now I think you got a better picture on stress test. Let's just see one more test today. What is endurance test? This is also a major test we consider. uh, we perform during NFT. So let's see, like what is endurance or soak test? Like soak is nothing but absorbing the pressure. The amount of the soak means you are absorbing the amount of burden in the application. Is nothing but how can we derive what is stressed, what is soak test? This is also a non-functional test. So as this is also a non-functional test and we don't perform on future load, we perform on average load. And what we need to identify, we need to test with to find memory leak in the application. So we saw that what is the objective of soak test? To find find out memory leak in the application. And other name of choke test is endurance test. Normally, we perform the test for long hour. Our profile can be 8 hour, 8 hour run or 24 hour or some application. Sometimes client confirms for 72 hour as well. So normally we run our test for a average load and for 8 hour. Like as of you, you might have got a picture for load test and stress test. We run it for 1 hour, and this one we run for a longer duration with a average amount of user. We consider so consider average user according to peak load. So we consider that average amount. So now you might have a question like how much amount of users like we take it, sir. So whether it is 100%, as you have got an idea for stress test, we take 130%, 150%, and 70% dependingly. So here we minimal the number of users like 70% or 80%. 70% is or 80% is or 60% is of peak load. Let's see, like if you are having 1000 users, then 6 peak load is 1000 users. Then how much we consider for average user? So now, like as we consider that peak load is our 1000 user, so definitely if we take 60% is 60% of 1000 user is 600. 70% of 1000 user is 700. 80% of 1000 user is 800. So this is the amount of users we give because as we run for a long profile, 8 hour, 24 hour, 72 hour, normally we don't run in a peak load. So definitely we consider we reduce the amount of users and run it for a long, so that we want to see that if there is any memory leak in the application or not, like whether we like all the server resources are under under the circumstance during the whole testing hours, like 8 hours or 72 hours or 24 hours run. The server resources should not be high. It should be under the SLAs, whatever the things we have confirmed or whatever things it is there in the NFRs. Resource high. So server resources like CPU, memory, disk should not be high. And memory leak means our application, the all the objects and uh, like all the objects are getting freed, and there is a frequent minor GC and major GC, so that there is always the memory, the memory which is not used are reclaimed by the garbage collection process. So, and we in the memory graph, the heap size should not gradually increase during the run. Okay, so now we have a better idea about like endurance test or soak test. So I'll just tell this also our BA confirms like how much amount of percentage we have to take it for stress test or a soak test. This all things is confirmed by the BA according to the prediction production data. We perform it normally, like we try to map all the production data into our NFT data, like NFT environment where we perform our test. But for a new application, there won't be any production data, so peak load can be used for whatever load is there, right? Peak load we consider accordingly. Average amount of users we consider for the peak load. So what's the purpose of soak test? First, we want to see whether the application can sustain for a longer duration or not. Sustain application is able to sustain for longer duration as we continuously for a steady state the amount of users are high, 70 around 60 to 70%. And next we will consider we should identify the memory leak if exist. So behavior, garbage collection. Even I will for the further class when I go for advanced topic, I'll even discuss for garbage collection process also. So as of now you just see, think we want to see minor GC and major GC. I'll tell you the process once we proceed. And we first of all for every test we need to identify performance bottleneck. SLA response time should not breach. So check the error. Right. So normally when we run for a longer duration, we have to check the error type. What type of errors it is, or any specific occurred for endurance test, and percentage of error. How much percentage error we got in the test observed. So normally, like the percentage of how much percentage of error we have observed, will we have to find out. And as I have this, I have already told the server resources should not be breached. This all criteria it should meet. Then only we can consider that our test is a successful one. If it is not, then it's not a successful one. Let's see, like how do we run? Let's see. Yes. So duration, let's see if I am going for 8 hours and I want to run with 700, 600 users, but I don't want to ramp up all because it may hamper the server as well. So gradually I'll increase 5 users per 40 seconds, and I won't stop. I'll stop gradually. One user, 5 seconds. So this is the amount of run. So we took it for 600 users, and gradually the users are increasing. So at this particular point, 600 users are reaching, and from here to here we call this thing as steady state. And here again ramp down after complete after a successful 8 hour, there is gradually the users are ramping up. So total now we can see the ramp up time is also around, let's see, for maximum to reach the 600 users it is taking 1 hour 19 minutes 20 seconds to. So this is the ramp up time. We are gradually increasing the number of users to put a load to the server. We are not pushing all the 600 users at simultaneous. So let's take a snapshot. So I think for today's session, like you might have got a better picture, clarity on other two type of tests, soak test and stress test. So I think we have remaining more to discuss. Let's see. Okay, we have covered so far load test, stress test, and endurance test. And you have, I think you, for a better picture, when we are running any kind of test, then we can see this load test and we can monitor the graphs as well. For as of now, you might have got a basic understanding of this type of test. So for the next class, we will be considering we'll try to see other type of tests like breakdown test, spike test, volume test, step up test, and similarly like step up test is similar to stress test. We'll follow the same type of pattern. So we can consider like breakdown. Breakdown is also similar to stress test. Our main objective is to find the peak users, the maximum users our application is supporting. So we can go for other two types of test, volume or, and we can consider that uh, to wrap this thing, the number of the type of, so we can wrap these types of performance testing. So so as of now, you guys, if you face any kind of challenge or issue, or if you have any doubts related to concept, then please follow the video once or watch it twice or thrice so that you can get a better picture, better clarity on these topics. Again, if you feel any doubt, then you can surely reach me, and hope you have a great learning so far. And till then, like we have covered we have covered like load test, stress test, and soak test. So for our next session, we plan to complete this type of performance testing and continue our we'll look into the virtual users, what are the difference between real users and virtual users. So I like to wrap up this session or end this session. Thanks guys, thanks for joining this class. Have a great day.